Well, hello to everybody and welcome back to In My Shed. I'm BC. This is more of a follow-on from the slitting saw sharpening. It's a very similar cutter, a plain disc type cutter. I don't know if you can pick it up really well, but if you do have a look at that cutting edge, you can see that there's a shiny bit on the corner, and anything that you can see means that the cutter is damaged. Now, I don't want to grind on the side of the side and face cutter as it's at a nominal size and hasn't been reground, so I'll be grinding away the primary and secondary leaf until I get rid of those shiny bits, and it should be usable again. This is the same arbor that I use for the slitting saws, except this big spacer has been taken off, and I have a thin spacer as there's only a small amount of the arbor protruding, and the thumb wheel or thumb screw off the Clarkson dead centre. So it's a pretty simple setup, and I should be able to get it running within half a thou on the arbor. I found that arbor to be very accurate, and that's good enough for sharpening one of these, I feel. It worked on the slitting saws and the customer stated that they perform better than ever, so I'm happy with that. We'll be setting up the centre height with this small surface gauge and a scriber. Very easy tool to use, and I find the small base, although it's wobbly and awkward, is easy to get around the tool and cutter grinder. There's not much real estate available on the table, and from memory I'll have to use my subplate to get enough to move that around. And we're back to the Clarkson book. You will probably not be able to see it. Maybe I'll just try a bit more zoom. Okay, we have a 6-inch diameter wheel, so that is this column. Diameter of the cutter is 4-inch, I think. So we have 5/16 drop of centre to get the primary clearance, and over here it says 15/16 for the secondary clearance. So I'll measure it up, but I'm pretty sure that's what we'll be doing, 5/16 and 15/16, and we'll set it up with the two clearances on the machine. Back soon. A little bit more on the setup for you fellas. You might not be familiar with the machine. This tool and cutter grinder has a main table and a sub table. So to get everything within square, first I square up the sub table to the main table, and then using a rule I take it across the flared cup wheel, across two teeth of the cutter, and that puts the cutter at perpendicular to the wheel. Now I'll be swapping that flared cup wheel over for a straight wheel. It's just easier to do that, use that wheel to align it, and it was on there from a previous operation anyway. So I'll swap the wheel over and we can get ready to grind. Well, here we are ready for some more of the setup. I've got my sub table held on with a toolmaker's clamp for somewhere to use the surface gauge. My favourite indexing finger up over the top here. Now the basic setup, initially you set the height gauge to the centre of the work head, to the tooth height centre, that's the tooth being ground, and the wheel in centre. That is your basic setup. Now we wind the work head down 5/16 or the wheel head down 5/16 or 8mm to give us our primary clearance behind the cutting edge. Now once we've ground that primary clearance, we'll then drop it down to 7/8 below centre, and that will grind in the secondary clearance. So I'll bring you in when we're ready to start making sparks. We'll back at it with the grinder running. We'll run around this cutter. Feed in a few more out. Okay, we'll run that around on a spark out pass and then we'll do the second one. Here we are back again. I've dropped the wheel head down to 7/8 of an inch or 22 mil below the cutting tool centre, and we'll grind a bit of the secondaries. Man, this cutter is hard and sharp. Not doing much good for the fingers. I'm just starting to lick the secondary area now. The polish on the clearance area of these teeth is just fantastic. Alright. Okay, won't bore you with that. I'll show you what the finished crop was like later. Okay, you should be able to see a definition between the primary and the secondary clearance. I haven't ground the secondary clearance back as far as I should because the cutter is bloody sharp and digging into my fingers, and it's also getting quite hot. There's no markings on it, no identification whatsoever, but you don't often come across a high-speed steel cutter this bloody hard. Sparks coming off it a little bit strange, but anyway, here's something that will work, and I want to save a little bit of skin. So I'll put this up for you all to have a look at. Don't forget, like and subscribe to keep me interested in making more videos for you. See you soon.